continue the chapter, The Making of a Global World. Indian entrepreneurs abroad. Shikaripuri Shroffs and Natakotai Chettias were among the groups of bankers and traders from India. They financed export agriculture in southern and central Asia. They had their own sophisticated system of money transfer to different parts of the world and even in India. Indian traders and money lenders also ventured into Africa along with the European colonizers. The Hyderabadi Sindhi traders ventured even beyond European colonies. By 1860s, they established flourishing emporia at busy ports around the world. Move on to the next topic, Indian trade, colonialism and the global system. Historically, fine cotton from India was exported to Europe. After industrialization, the local manufacturers forced the British government to impose a ban on Indian imports. This resulted in British manufactured cotton textiles flooding the Indian market. The share of cotton textiles in Indian export was 30% in 80s. It declined to 50% by 1815 and to 30% by 1870s. But from 1812 to 1871, the export of raw cotton increased from 5% to 35%. During this period, indigo emerged as a major export item from India. Opium was the largest exported item from India and it was mainly exported to China. Although export of raw materials and food grains from India to Britain grew manifold, but import of finished goods from Britain also increased. This resulted in a situation in which Britain was having the trade surplus. In other words, the balance of payment was in Britain's favor. Income from the Indian market was utilized by Britain to serve its other colonies and also to pay home charges for its officials who were posted in India. The home charges also included payment of India's external debt and pension for retired British officials in India. Next topic is the Inter-War economy. The First World War wreaked large scale of havoc around the world in many senses. About 9 million people died and 20 million people were injured in the wake of the war. Most of the people who were killed or maimed were people from working age. This resulted in a significant reduction in the number of able-bodied workforce in Europe. Due to fewer earning members in the families, the household incomes drastically reduced in Europe. Most of the men were forced to engage in war and thus women had to replace them in factory jobs. Women were now working in those jobs which were earlier considered as male bastions. The war also led to snapping of ties between some major economic powers of the world. Britain had to borrow from the US to finance the war. The war transformed the US from an international debitor to an international creditor. Now, US and its citizens owned more overseas assets than foreign governments or citizens owned in the US. Next topic is rise of mass production and consumption. The US economy was quick to recover from the aftershocks of the war. During the 1920s, the unique feature of the US economy was mass production. Henry Ford, the founder of the Ford Motors, was the pioneer of mass production in factories. Mass production helped in increasing productivity and reducing prices. Workers began to earn better in the US and hence had better disposable income. This created huge demand for various products. Now, let's study about the Great Depression. First, agricultural overproduction. Agricultural overproduction was a major problem during the 1920s. More supply of farm produce resulted in lower price. Farmers tried to compensate by producing even more. This created a glut of farm produce in the market, leading to further falling prices. Farm produce rotted because of lack of buyers. Now, let's look how did the Great Depression affected in India. The depression affected the Indian economy as well. Between 1928 and 1934, the imports and exports of India became nearly half. During this period, the wheat prices in India fell by 50%. In spite of falling prices of farm produce, the government continued to demand the same revenue from the farmers. Thus, farmers were the worst sufferers in the situation. Many farmers were forced to utilize their savings, sell their lands and jewelry. Thus, India became a net exporter of precious metal during this period. The depression proved less grim for the urban dwellers in India. With the falling prices, many urban landowners and salaried people found their life much easier. Under pressure from the nationalist leaders, the industrial production grew, which led to more investment in the industries. Next is Bretton Woods institutions. United Nations Monetary and Financial Conference was held in July 1944 at Bretton Woods in New Hampshire, USA. The Bretton Woods Conference established the National Monetary Fund. This organization was established to deal with external surpluses and deficits of its members. The International Bank for Reconstruction and Development was set up to finance post-war reconstruction. This is popularly known as the World Bank. The IMF and World Bank are often referred to as Bretton Woods institutions. The post-war economic system is also referred to as the Bretton Woods system. Okay friends, I hope all of you will understood about how different objects come in our hands. So learn more about this. We will meet you again in the next video. Till then, goodbye.